Alicia here. Welcome back to the channel. I am going to do something I saw another YouTuber doing. I'm going to do my best to do Vlogust and vlog every day, because I know when I post videos more consistently, it seems like I get a lot better feedback, and some of you actually want to see me being my weird self on this channel for whatever reason. So today, I just had a Walmart delivery, and today is Tuesday. I may stay a day behind on actually posting videos, but we're gonna see how that works out. Lawson is asleep, and I'm out here doing what I do every day during nap time. I kind of check on things when I don't have Lawson running behind me. And the peas that we're getting now are in this area of the garden. It's not very far from our house. This is our second batch of peas that we planted, and this first row has already been producing a lot of peas. I've sold peas this week, and I've put up 4 more quarts today. So this second batch of peas will be ready probably this weekend. It looks like it will not be long, and I'll be back to picking at least a 5-gallon bucket of peas every single day. And that's great. You know, it's abundance is a blessing. It's kind of hard to deal with sometimes whenever you have a lot going on, which I have had a lot going on. I mentioned that my dad is very sick, and I've asked y'all to pray for him. And I'll go ahead and tell you, my dad has cancer, and it's not looking great. I know my last video, I believe that will be uploaded today as I'm making this video. I had said that we got more bad news, and since then we've gotten a little bit more news that was not so bad. I don't want to say good news, but I'll take it. If any of you have dealt with your family members or yourself having cancer, I know it's kind of a up and down, and that's where we're at right now. Anyway, I covet your prayers for that situation in my family. But back to the vlog. I'm over here on the other side where we have cucumbers. It is so hot here in central Mississippi, y'all. We've had a lot of trouble with our cucumbers getting bitter before they're even really a decent size to be picking, because it is just, if you live in an area that is extremely hot, you know what I'm talking about. But cucumbers tend to get bitter if they get too big, or if the temperature is just way too hot. If you're in Mississippi, you've probably dealt with that. So we've got cucumbers over here. We also have our main crop of okra. We planted another row of okra over on the other part of our property where our pumpkins are planted, and we thought that the okra would maybe kind of shade the pumpkins later on after they had grown up. So we've actually got some more peas over here. They're about done. Actually, they may really be done at this point. So we'll probably be pulling those up today or tomorrow. We've got eggplant. I've already harvested 3 or 4 eggplants. My mother loves eggplant, so I gave her at least 1, if not 2 of them. And I actually made eggplant parmesan. You've got to make that at least 1 time while you're getting eggplant. And after that, I don't know, we fry it sometimes, but I'm not the biggest fan of eggplant, hence why we only planted a few. And we've got another squash over here, and of course 5 more tomato plants. They have been producing pretty well. There's a few on there that are still trying to turn, and there are peas running up in them that will be pulling out also. So I'm probably gonna pick some okra and maybe a couple of tomatoes, and I'm gonna go back inside because it is currently 96 degrees and it's not even 12 o'clock right now, so it's really hot. Before I go inside, I completely walked right by this area and forgot to tell y'all. We pulled up the peas that were planted in the weed fabric with our tomatoes. So the tomatoes are left and a couple of jalapenos, which one of them is doing really well. Now that we've pulled all those peas up, the tomatoes will probably start to do a lot better, but right now the heat is just beating them down, y'all. It is so unbelievably hot. I don't know how anything is living out here, but I'm fixing to go inside. Okay, for supper tonight, I am going to be cooking these Blue Lake bush beans or whatever we wound up planting, because the Blue Lake bush beans, if you look them up, they're just green like these beans. But we also in the same area have these beans that are sort of pinkish purple on the outside. Still ain't figured out what's going on with that, but I'm going to boil them for a few minutes to soften them, and then I'm gonna saute them like I normally do just our regular green beans, and I think that'll be really good. Of course, I'm gonna snap the ends off and get those ready. I'm also gonna cook some chicken, and Dusty wanted rice, so we'll have beans, chicken, rice, and maybe some squash. I really don't know. Okay, it's about 4 o'clock and I think we're inside for the day. It is entirely too hot, but we went out and played in Lawson's splash pad for about an hour or so until I had to drag him inside because we were both just too hot. So I'm gonna get started on supper. Dusty has now added biscuits to the menu tonight, so I'm gonna make biscuits. I've got some in the freezer, but I think I'm gonna make another batch anyway and kind of add to my freezer stock, like I like to do a lot when I make biscuits. had first thought about cooking my chicken in the air fryer, but then I decided that I wanted to make a little pan sauce, kind of like a simple gravy. So I decided to cook it in my cast iron so I could use the drippings to make the sauce. But I'm still using my air fryer to cook chicken and pork chops all the time, especially during this extreme summer heat wave that we're having. I'm turning on the stove and especially the oven as little as possible. And it wouldn't be a regular day of me cooking supper or doing anything without at least one toddler meltdown. He wasn't watching where he was going. Bless his heart. I've mentioned numerous times on this channel that I actually really enjoy cooking, and I have a lot of pushback about that. You know, a lot of people, just the people that I know, don't like to cook, and I have several friends that their husbands do all the cooking, but I guess it's not as common as I think it is for people to enjoy cooking. One of the things that I always think about is the fact that it's really not hard to cook, but you do sort of need to be able to multitask, and not everyone is good at multitasking. It's difficult to keep track of multiple things at one time. And I mean, we all mess up. I've burnt my share of biscuits myself. Well, supper is ready. Supper's ready for the most part. I did not cook any squash like I had planned. I don't know if I forgot or... Anyway, since I used a lot of my sourdough starter, I'm going to use most of what's left in the jar and make some bread for tomorrow night, and then feed my sourdough starter, let her double, and put her back in the fridge. And no, you don't see a scale under any of this. I'm not measuring any of it. Oh my gosh. Now I remember what else I was gonna make. Blueberry cobbler. Let's see if I can throw that together. rice. The oven's still hot from the biscuits, so I'm gonna melt this little over half a stick of butter. A cup of flour, teaspoon of baking powder. I don't know where my apron went. I had an apron on. A half teaspoon of salt, cup of sugar, and about a cup of milk. Yes, I'm stirring that with my sourdough starter spoon. Waiting for the butter to melt, I'm gonna get back to my sourdough. Okay, I'm gonna let that rest and for about 30 minutes or whenever I think about it. Then I'm gonna add the salt and oh, okay. That's melted enough. Sometimes I pour my berries first, and sometimes I pour my mixture first. I think I'm gonna put my mixture first. And then I'm gonna melt my berries in here. Oh Lord. And I didn't quite put a cup of sugar in the mixture, so I'm gonna put some sugar on the berries and some lemon juice and then dump those in there. And if you think my kitchen is chaotic, you should see me when I'm cooking and not filming. And that will not be ready by the time we're eating supper. But my husband's not home yet, so we've got a little bit of time anyway. I'm fixing to clean up. When my husband got home, we went ahead and sat down to eat. And we normally eat between 5 and 6 o'clock every day. Unless he's a little later getting home, we try to always eat supper together. Then we go outside and do whatever we need to do every evening. That's why we eat a little earlier than most of our friends and family do.
Yeah.
And we always eat at the table together. TV off, phones down. And if you're not already doing that with your family, I would strongly encourage you to start doing that. It makes a huge difference. I thank y'all so much for hanging out with me today and every day that you do. I pray that you are blessed and encouraged. Until next time, bye y'all.